On Sunday in Forever Green, there's more to Hilly than meets the eye.
I'm curious about Hilly.
I'll bet you are.
She's prodigiously talented.
Been showing off, has she?
The Bolts discover a hidden talent, but school life for their own daughter is more difficult.
It might help if you could just accept the fact that she'll always be asthmatic.
The presence of a stranger in the village is bad news for someone in Forever Green on Sunday.
Other programmes tomorrow, David Suchet dons the garb of Agatha Christie's Poirot at 9 o'clock. Tomorrow's story is The King of Clubs, and tomorrow's worry for Poirot is when is a murder not a murder? Keith Floyd is back at 10 o'clock tomorrow with more comments on television from around the world. That brings us to 10:30 and the South Bank Show. And there's comedy with 9 to 5 at 11:30. Within a Space at midnight, those are programmes tomorrow night on Tyne Tees. Soccer Special is next tonight. The match is Middlesbrough versus Liverpool.
I don't suppose you have a copy of Fly Fishing by J.R. Hartley. It is rather old. It's by J.R. Hartley.
No luck, Dad. Never mind. There's still a few more to try.
Good old yellow pages. We don't just help with the nasty things in life, like a blocked drain. We're there for the nice things, too.
You do? Oh, that's wonderful. Can you keep it for me? My name, oh yes, it's J.R. Hartley.
Well, they've lived with me since they got wed, but now I'm pleased to say my daughter and my son-in-law are about to move away. At last, a place of their own. Now, they got their mortgage from the Leeds, because when it comes to your first home, you can trust the Leeds to give you help as well as give a loan, which could be up to 3.5 times your salary. Now, I got quite emotional on the day that they moved in. Tears of sadness for my girl and tears of joy for him. He'll be a big hit with the neighbours.
Leeds Mortgages. Special rates now available.
This year's Supreme Champion at Crafts is fed on pedigree chum. Brenda White tells us why.
She wouldn't be in this condition without the correct sort of diet, and it obviously suits her. I think if you've got them settled and happy on something, and dogs are not like humans, you can't change a diet every day and vary it, so I think it's best to stick to something that you know and trust. Cassie has pedigree chum. Every scrap has always gone out of her dish, so I think that's the living proof that she enjoys it.
Trade in your old typewriter, and you'll get £50 off a new Amstrad 9512 wordy processor, including daisy wheel printer and spelling check. Just think, no more snarly up wordings.
The Amstrad 9512, £449 plus VAT if you trade in a typewriter.
BX Citroens, 15 great models, including the 1989 diesels, now at Wingrove. Best part exchanges too. Citroen BX at Wingrove Motor Company, Newcastle and Whitley Bay.
Tomorrow afternoon on ITV, Rita's growing suspicions are only the beginning of Alan Bradley's problems.
It can't be the first time a bloke's made a pass at you, surely.
You didn't make a pass, you tried to rape me.
Oh, come on, it's a bit strong, isn't it?
I know what you're up to. And it's high time somebody put an end to your nasty little games.
Is the rat finally cornered? Trouble on Coronation Street, tomorrow afternoon on ITV.
Soccer special today comes from Ayresome Park, where Middlesbrough faced the might of champions Liverpool. It's the very game that Teesside fans must have dreamt of not so very long ago when the Borough were trying to battle their way out of the third division. A 2-0 scoreline at half-time to Liverpool means all sorts of problems for Middlesbrough.
Designed without compromise, tested without mercy. The new Renault 19 from £6,520.
What Tom Selleck's new lady thinks of him. In this week's Sunday Mirror magazine, he talks about his new role being a father. Plus, the new extra Sunday Mirror beauty book reveals the secrets of looking beautiful. And that's just the men. A bust is a must. How women can get back to being upfront again. EastEnders Kathy Beale shows how she can look $1 million. And what do these women sleep with for protection? Thousands of pounds could be yours in our new Super Bingo. It's all in this week's Sunday Mirror colour magazine and beauty book.
How long are you here for?
2 weeks. You?
We've retired here.
You're a bit young to be a pensioner.
Prudential pensioner?
Will you have the clout of a Prudential pension in your 50s? Prudential. We explain and arrange more personal pensions than anybody else.
Insist on Bristow.
Appreciation from the crowd here for a fine display by Liverpool. The score cannot be argued with. Middlesbrough 0, Liverpool 4. Bruce, after a game like that, I know it's not really easy to say anything. I just suppose you met Liverpool at their very best.
Well, they're capable on their given day of beating any side comprehensively, and I think they did that today. For a spell, we were competing with them early in the game, but then the first goal went in, and I think once the second goal went past us, then it was just a matter of them keeping possession and building up and pushing the game forward against us. And what you come up against, you come up with a team playing with 10 internationals who have a great deal of international experience, a great deal of European experience, good movement, good support, and on the day they were outstanding. And I don't think you can complain about that. You don't like to be second best in life. You like to be the winner. And we don't like losing here, but sometimes you have to stand up and be counted and say that we came off second best and that they were the better team, and they won, and they proved it today. And they're an outstanding team. They're the one team in the first division in the country that are capable of going from now until the end of the season and winning all their matches.
Peter, people keep writing off Liverpool, but they, all, as usual, do their talking out on the pitch, don't they?
Yeah, that's what we tried to do, and I think today we've given a very professional performance.
It was a classic Liverpool performance in many ways. You really must have been very pleased with it.
Yeah, obviously we're pleased to come and win 4-0 at any club like Middlesbrough, you know, because to be fair, they've got some good young players, and I think in many ways we're a bit unfortunate on the day.
You had a great first half yourself, really setting the tone with that goal. We can have a look at that one now. Typical Beardsley goal, you might say.
Yeah, well, the left-back played a great ball into me, and Tony Mowbray had to check his stride, and Gary Pallister just came across, but I was lucky enough to get me shot in just before he tackled me.
Now, you were very, very alive and kicking today out there. How much of a G-up to you, really, is it being left out by England in midweek? And even the Liverpool place is never certain, is it?
No, well, that's right. It's never nice to be left out, but having said that, Bobby Robson's got such a hard job, you know, he's got so many good players to play. And obviously everybody in the North East knows Chris Waddle, and I was just unfortunate that Chris kept me out on Wednesday. But hopefully we've got Albania in a month's time, and hopefully I can get a bit of form and get back in the setup.
Now, you have said you've got enormous respect for Liverpool and also for the work your own players have done over the last couple of years, but they do now face another test of nerve and character for the rest of the season, don't they?
Well, we understand that, but then so do the other clubs down there. I mean, we're in no different a position to some of the other clubs, West Ham, Newcastle, Sheffield Wednesday, Southampton and so on, that are at the low end of the division. And we'll just keep working, we'll keep battling away, we'll keep playing to see if we can get enough points to keep us in the first division. And that's really what we want to try and do.
Well, Bruce, more than ever, will be anxious about Newcastle's performance today. They, of course, faced another vital relegation game at home to Queen's Park Rangers. Newcastle hoping to keep that recent good run going. We can now have a report on that match and the rest of the North East football news from David Burton.
Newcastle's Kevin Brock had something to prove against his old club, who this week signed striker Colin Clark from Southampton for £800,000. And the Northern Ireland international spurned a good chance to give Rangers the lead in a disjointed first half when he shot over from Reed's cross. Newcastle's other boy from Brazil, Gary, replaced Mirandinha in the starting lineup, and he so nearly took advantage of a rare slip by Paul Parker. Seaman, though, was secure on his near post. United's best chance of the half fell to Liam O'Brien. Put through neatly by Frank Pingle, he couldn't find the accuracy to beat the Rangers keeper. No goals so far for the 21,000 St James's faithful, but Jim Smith must have fired the lads up with his half-time words of wisdom. Frank Pingle's acrobatics deserved a better reward. And the Great Dane was cursing his luck soon after, when his header from Brock's fine cross flew just wide. Surely Newcastle's incessant pressure would tell, and when substitute Mirandinha's flick put Brazil in the clear, there seemed no way Seaman could keep him out, but he did. It's a hard life in the First Division, Gary. Colin Clark had enjoyed few chances to show why Trevor Francis had splashed out so much in him, but this run, shrugging off Kevin Scott's challenge, hinted that the big man was getting in the mood. And it was Clark who broke the deadlock on 65 minutes when his free kick took a slight deflection to beat the unsighted right. United should have been wise to it. Clark scored from the same spot for Southampton last season. Still, United continued to pass up golden opportunities. Brazil's cross seemed perfectly weighted for O'Brien, but the timing of his leap was just out. Rangers punished his profligacy at once. United failed to clear a corner, and Mark Steen said thank you very much. 2-0, and this relegation battle was surely out of Newcastle's grasp. But 2 minutes later, Newcastle were back in with a shout. Mirandinha played a neat 1-2 with Pingle, and though Seaman beat out Mirror's fierce shot, fullback Ray Ransom followed in to net only his second league goal ever. This rare event wasn't enough to stop Rangers taking 3 precious points back to Loftus Road. So that 2-1 defeat leaves Newcastle in dire straits, their only consolation being that none of their fellow threatened species won either. Luton and Sheffield Wednesday lost, Charlton drew at home to Southampton, as did West Ham to Coventry. Middlesbrough, though, are dangerously near the relegation zone. No joy for Dennis Smith at his old stamping ground, Stoke City. The Sunderland boss saw his side well beaten 2-0. Scarborough manager Colin Morris won't be happy at losing ground on the 4th Division leaders. Carlisle scored the only goal of the game at the Athletic Ground. Hartlepool's goal-scoring duo of Simon Grayson and Andy Toman would have put a smile on Bob Monker's face, though. Pools beat Halifax 2-0, the only bright spot on the North East footballing map.
So a depressing day both on Tyne side and here on Teesside. But plenty of time for both of them, though, to pull away from the relegation zone. Plenty of time, too, for Liverpool to make up the ground right at the top of the First Division. Because here at Ayresome Park, I'm afraid, for Middlesbrough, it was a lesson from the Masters. Goodbye.
Stay with us after the break for the irrepressible Mr. Magoo.